SuperCoach Paige show. I'm Paige.
I'm Matt.
And we're back for round 11 it is, and we have hit mid-year. We are now at the buys, so it is the hardest 3 weeks of SuperCoach coming up. We're going to jump into that, but for now, Damon, I firmly believe that you have taken on the, you are now king of the worst coach of the week, because this week, this is number 3. You've overtaken me.
It's never in contention with
I wouldn't call myself a king, I'd just call myself a jester at the moment. Because it is a bit of a dunce, but it's not going to last. Don't worry. I've got an awesome midfield coming up, which
it's going to get wrecked by the buys. That's
No, I'm facing 1-0 that week, so anyway.
Well, to celebrate your downfall, as we would call it, those of you who remember one of the very first episodes earlier on in the year would have realised that your fine self, when the Blues lost to the Tigers, Damon had to wear this beautiful piece of get-up. And it's back again. We thought it was only fitting considering Richmond won on Monday nights.
And I'm going to forgive Martin and Cochin for their crap scores. We got it done. That's all I care about.
Exactly. That's it. But hey, all our teams are
Speaking of crap scores, by the way.
Yes, let's just leave with mine. Best and worst. Well, there weren't too many bests, obviously, apart from Birchall, Loston, Swan, Blitzarves, and Bartel, and of course Gazza as well. Worst. Now, I need just a massive page worth.
Get the list down.
We got Cox 91, Franklin 81, who was my recruit for the week. Martin 67, Cochin 78. Mitchell 74, Maloney 35, Watson 73, and Lacroix 32. How many of these those are premiums and you're just not performing. You wait, there's going to be a week.
Oh, look, whatever. Stop your whinging. I traded in Stevie J this week and made him my captain, and he scored 89.
It's your own fault, stick with Gaz.
Yeah, look, let's be honest. But hey, look, the best for me, dirty little secret, I have had Mark Blitzarves on field for the past 2 weeks, and in both weeks he scored over 100. Genius right here. Thank you.
Did it this week.
We want Blitzarves, you're not a genius, Paige.
No. 2 weeks of him on field, I'm pretty happy with.
And his break-even's negative 45 now, so he's going to make a lot of money.
In price, so that's fantastic. What about yourself? How was your week?
Yeah, pretty good. I think I top scored out of us 3 just. Heppel did quite well, as well as McCaffrey got 100, playing on Josh Kennedy, who had a crap game as well.
Yeah.
What was it? No, it wasn't Josh Kennedy, was it?
No, Josh Kennedy.
No, he was on Pierce Hanley.
Pierce
He
Hanley,
kept him to 11
right.
disposals.
That's
So all the Pierce Hanley owners out there, vote your anger to McCaffrey.
Yeah, but McCaffrey made up for it by his decent score, so it's all
Exactly. But look, we'll move straight on, and yes, the buys are here. And Matt, take us through which teams are not going to be featuring this week.
This week we are without Brisbane, Fremantle, Hawthorn, Port Adelaide, Richmond, and the Bulldogs.
So there's a fair whack. I mean, it's not the worst of rounds by any stretch of imagination, but we need to reiterate that only the top 18 scores on your field will come into calculation this week.
It's the defenders round that really takes a big hit. You know, you've got for Brisbane, you've got Handley, Leicester, if you brought him in. Fremantle have Duffield and Pearce. Hawthorn have Birchall, who was playing quite well.
Burgoyne, who's actually jumped up on the radar.
Yeah. Port Adelaide have Hartlett back there, and if you've still got
Pittard, Stevenson.
Richmond have Floston and Ellis, if you've still got Ellis, and Bulldogs have Goods. So
backline carnage.
Not very good, but I mean, what should we be doing in round 11?
Well, look, a lot of people have sort of tweeted in and sort of got to us on the Facebook page and asked what should we be doing with round 11. Now, I've always been, and you're going to contradict me on this, and I'm quite happy for you to do so. I've always been a firm believer for quite some time now, since the buys have been going, that you should not have to trade in round 11 whatsoever. That being that obviously if you trade players in, they're either going to miss the buy this week, or they're going to be obviously out for the next couple of weeks between the buys. So I've always thought, hold your trades, keep the trades, do not trade. But we had a good conversation before about this, and you make a very good point, and I think everybody needs to take this into consideration.
Yeah, so you're right where you can't avoid a 0 at all because everyone has a buy, so you're going to get a 0 regardless. But what I'm doing this week is trading round 11 buy players to other round 11 buy players. So for example, the one I'm doing is Monfries to Nathan Robert. So that'll make me about 350,000, which I can use to then upgrade a round 12 rookie, such as Matt Jones, to a round 11 premium. So Fife, for example.
Yep.
So that's a really good trade to make. It frees up a lot of money, and so you might need to use. You get a lot of wiggle room. You can use only 3 trades a week. I know it's more, but in the buy rounds you might feel like you need to use more. So these are trades that you won't have to do next week.
And building the war chest now is probably what it's all about. Is that looking to save some trades, but also make some downgrades to really build that. I mean, if Dwyer doesn't play this week, and Collingwood have said that they've cleared him, he's available for selection. But if he doesn't play, then I will consider trading Dwyer to Hobart, and that brings up 250k right there from that one trade. And then all of a sudden I've got 500 grand in the kitty, so I can go bang, 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 left, right, and centre.
Your teams, they should be nearly done. Your teams. So I think I've only got 3 players that I need to bring in, or 1 defender and 2 bigs. So.
I've actually gone the opposite. I'm actually using all 3 trades this week.
Oh, Jesus.
What I'm doing is, whilst taking into consideration the buys, I'm still going ahead and making my downgrades and upgrades as well. So, for example, I've got Maloney. Obviously, got the buy this week, but he's injured as well, so I'm not too sure if he's going to face Brisbane's next opponent in round 12. So, I'm actually trading him. I'm upgrading him, I suppose you'd call it, through Stanton. Even though Stanton's got the round 13
the
buy.
Birdman Stanton.
Yes, yeah, a bit of a spaceman.
There are people that are going to be watching this thinking, you
Muppet.
That's a good word, that's more friendly.
There's a reason he's got 3 lowest scores. So.
But if you look at Stanton's, on the serious note, if you look at Stanton's scores and his price at the moment, I think it's 471, I think, which is just astounding given I think he scored 50 something and 60 something consecutively. So his price has dropped a fair bit, and he's underpriced and is good value. And
very low break even. I think he's in the 50s.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the week that I'm jumping on him just for that as well. And when he has his round 13 buy, I've got players on the bench which are going to miss this week, which can cover for him in round 13.
And obviously now with the buy rounds here, a lot of people are trying to figure out which premium players they should be looking to bring in. Now we're going to go through a couple of players from each team. We'll start with the Hawks. So Grant Birchall, one player in particular a lot of people are looking to upgrade to, considering now he's at 417k and you will not get him this cheap again. Has 105 for a break even, and obviously after playing himself into form against Melbourne with 118, is one to really strongly consider after the Hawks have their finished bye in round 11. His teammate Sam Mitchell, 74 against the D's as well, not up to scratch for Sammy. But the good thing is for those who don't have him, is that he's going to have, he's got now 141 for a break even, and in 2 weeks will be under 500k. So from a tactful point of view, with the Hawks having such a good run home, they only travel interstate once, and obviously plus those few games down in Tasmania, all of their games are basically at home in Victoria. So that is huge to consider. If you haven't got Sammy Mitchell yet, keep him on your radar because he'll be one to pick up on. Lance Franklin, most people jumped on him a couple of weeks ago when he was pretty cheap. He's still thereabouts. He hasn't really taken the world by storm. 81 against the D's as well is pretty abysmal. 458k, so he's still around that 450k mark. The average of 88 at the moment, not exactly Buddy-like, but with a break even of 99, really kind of hard to pass up on. But another one, and just the Lone Ranger from Port Adelaide, Hamish Hartlett, 86 against the Doggies. He's having a bit of up and down form. It's been a bit yo-yo-like, but for those who are interested, he's now at 413k. He has a break even this week of 71. So ideally after round 11, so as we head into round 12, he'd be someone to look into, especially if you're looking to upgrade, someone like Turlick or even Brett Goods.
I'm strongly considering Hartlett there. He's a bit erratic with his scoring, but Port have gotten a little better, I think, with the form drop-off. And they're not a bad team, but it's going to be enough for him to score consistently.
I'm disappointed because I've had him all year, and now a lot of people, if not everyone's going to jump on him now because he's so cheap. And
look, I'll be doing it. He's one that I'm eyeing off as an upgrade option, despite the fact that his form has been a bit so-so. I think it's paying that price. I'm happy to do that for the scores that he's getting.
Yeah, that's right, definitely. And moving out west, you've got 3 players from Fremantle who are doing quite well. Michael Barlow, 141 against Adelaide, was very good. He's priced at 558,000, averaging 111 and a break even of 59. So he's not going to get much cheaper than now. He's had a very good past 2 weeks, and they've got a good run home, the Dockers. Nat Fyfe as well, 108 against Adelaide. He had that 2-week suspension, but other than that, he's been very consistent. Priced at a little bit cheaper, 548,000, same average, and 97 break even. So another good mid there. And Garrick Ibbotson, he's flown a bit.
He's
under the
sort of
radar.
come from the clouds, hasn't he?
Only a 79 against Adelaide, but the average for him for the year is 98.7. So
What?
very respectable for Ibbotson there. He's moved less from a tagging role to more of a rebounding player.
Yeah.
It's definitely worked for him. Priced at 472,800 and a break even of 96. So that's another option to jump on as a defender. Maybe if you don't like Hartlett's, up and down nature, you can get a more consistent player.
That's still a good point of difference too.
And one player from the Tigers, Trent Cotchin, 78 against West Coast, which obviously isn't up to his great standards. Priced at 550, averaging 111. High break even though, 152. So if you were wanting to get him in, maybe wait a couple of rounds for him to go down in price, because ever since he hurt his knee in one of the early rounds, I think it was against
Yeah, he might be carrying that niggle, so this buy round's probably going to be a bit of a
big help for him.
Big help, but he's going to be under $520,000.
Yeah.
That's a steal.
And his other teammate as well, Brett Delidio, who scored 131 against West Coast on the weekend. He's priced at 549,400 with an average of 110, and he's got a break in of 129. So I think maybe you can hold off maybe a week.
Maybe,
It's a bit of a gamble. Otherwise, definitely get him in after his buy round. Dustin Martin's another one. I think we've all got him. We're all riding the Dustin Martin roller coaster.
That roller coaster.
Yeah.
Never Dusty.
He scored 67, abysmal effort against West Coast, back to the Dusty of old.
Yeah.
Priced at 530,400 with an average of 104, with a break even of 176.
Ooh.
So he's going to be dropping in price. So if you haven't got him, definitely look out for him.
He could be under 500k.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. And the other one from the Doggies, got a couple here. Will Minson. He scored 133 against Port
The
Adelaide.
milkman.
Yes, the milkman, the dumb smart man, as they also call him as well. Priced at 572,600 with an average of 116. So I think he's in the top 6 or 7 scoring players across the competition, which is massive.
And he's
Not
still,
just rucks, that's the whole competition.
The whole competition, yeah.
And
exactly
he still
right.
leads the ruck division by an absolute daylight. There's him, daylight, and everybody else
Yeah.
outs in the competition. So
He's got a break even of 105, and he's actually one that I'm looking to trade in after his buy. So it's just kind of worked out lucky that he's got his buy at the moment, because I can't fit him in this week if he didn't. But yeah, I'd definitely get him in. Ryan Griffin is another one of his teammates.
the Griff
Scored 176. He's back in form. He's in ripping form at the moment.
is, isn't he?
Scored 176 against Port. He's priced at 606,700 with an average of 122.9, and his break even is 56. So he's going to eclipse that easily.
Yeah, and I really like Griffin and I want to get him in, but he's got McCaffer after the bye. Collingwood and McCaffer. And
Interesting
he's
now how
very
we're taking McCaffer so heavily into consideration when we're trading players in.
He's blanket.
If you go through a couple of stats from McCaffer, he kept going back to Joel Selwood to 20 possessions. He kept Josh Kennedy to under 20 as well.
Yeah.
And on the weekend kept Pierce Hanley to 11, and before going way back, Del Santo to 11 touches or something.
He's a Supercoach destroyer.
He is, so I mean, he might be joining the ranks of Ryan Crowley soon. So good to keep that in mind. We'll have to take into consideration now. So.
Yeah, but the players that you want to be getting rid of to bring in these players, there's a good spread of them. I mean, you should be really doing it in round 12 more so than this round, but just outline a couple of the players that you should be trading.
Well, we've had a look at, now earlier on we were saying that Jager O'Meara might actually be someone we can keep for obviously a prolonged period of time, and we all obviously strive to have that complete midfield of 8 premium midfielders, but Jager was looking like someone we could probably hold on to for a long time. We have. But I think his form lately has just started to taper off. So he's had a couple of scores in the 70s. He's going to go down in price this week unless he scores his break even of 111. He's got the round 13 bye though, so that's the reason why I'm sort of holding out faith in him. But after round 12, he's someone that obviously given he's $424,000 at the moment, all you need is an extra 500 grand. All you need is an extra 100 grand. And you're getting a premium play for him. So he, for me, is someone that I'm going to upgrade after round 12.
Yeah, if it was during the normal season, you might want to do it, even this round. But with the buys coming, anyone playing is a bonus.
Yeah, definitely. Right. And I mean, for me, he's someone who, despite he's got an average of 88, he was averaging 111. So, and that now is what his break even is. So he's going to start losing some money, but just take that into consideration for the moment. Hold on to him, but look to upgrade him. Another one is Dean Turlett from Melbourne. Now, we've been in two minds. I traded him last week for Brent Staker because I needed to get him into my side. Needed the cash. He goes on and scores 70, just my luck. But being that Melbourne, the ball is spending a lot of time in Melbourne's defensive 50. So, considering how well he's scoring, how much the ball is getting, Melbourne actually look to be getting the ball into his hands. So, after Melbourne's bye, I still think after the bye you should be gunning to upgrade all of those rookies from the start and get them to premiums. And he's someone in defence, considering how cheap Birchall, Hartlett, Ibbotson, those sorts of guys are at the moment, there's really no reason to hold on to him and instead of getting someone that's going to probably have a higher ceiling in my opinion.
And his teammate as well, Michael Evans, he scored 47 against Hawthorn on the weekend. He's priced now at 281,800 with an average of 66 and a break-even of 68. So his break-even is now higher than his season average. So I find it hard to believe that he's actually going to go up in price any more than what he has at the moment. He's really started to taper off in recent weeks with scores of 47, 56, 57 and 59.
So he's hit the wall a bit.
He has a bit. He's slowed right up. And the D's, of course, played Collingwood on the weekend. So I don't think he's going to score all that well, unfortunately, for him and for Melbourne.
But of course, anyone playing this week's a bonus.
Yeah,
exactly
anyone
right.
playing. So after next week, trade him out.
Yeah.
Because that's the round 12 bye that he's gone, as well as Matt Jones, another one of the.
There's a contingency of them.
There's a fair few. He only scored 39 against Hawthorn, and he was subbed out. I didn't think he was the worst for the Demons, so I was quite shocked with that. He was only on my bench, so it was alright. But he's got a break even of 110. He will go down in price, but don't trade him out this week. Like we said, anyone scoring is good.
Yep.
So next week, trade him out.
Take it. Yep.
Another one is Brett Goods. He scored 96 against Port Adelaide on the weekend with an average of 91 now and a break-even of 48. His last three games have been so-so. He's scored 77, 86 and 96, so he has actually been coming into some good form. His job security is high, of course, playing for the Dogs. He's always going to get the go there as a mature age player especially as well. But he's one to look to upgrade after his bye to maybe a Hartler or a Duffield or even Birchall after round 11.
Yeah, I traded him out a while ago just because I needed to bring in Ham.
Did you really?
Yeah. I think at the start of the suspension I did it just because I needed Hanley. I needed him in my team.
Cool.
Two more players that you could bring in, that you could get rid of. Max Gawn and Majak Daw, and they're really in the same sort of predicament. They were dropped because they had crap games. Gawn had a 18 and a 39 and Daw had a 29 and a 7. So Daw's break-even is 125 and Gawn's is 87. So that's very high for a rookie ruckman. If they play again, they're only going to go down in price. So what I've done is I have Gawn, so I traded him to Grimley.
Pardon the pun.
I've traded him to Grimley, which will net me 120, 130. So, a bit of extra cash. Grimley seems like he'll be playing a bit more just because Max Bailey was actually left out of the side with Grimley was more in favour. So that's good signs, and Grimley's on the bubble, so it's not too late to do it.
Even if you've still got someone like Sam Rowe sitting there in your ruck bench. I mean, Sam Rowe's only about 214k, but still it's money that's sitting there that could be used elsewhere.
Yeah. So.
But look, we're going to have a look at, now obviously there's not quite a few. There's a few rookie downgrade options that have sort of jumped up over the past week. Now I'm going to speak of a few. The Wonder Boys, Kyle Martin, we'll start with. Obviously came off the rookie list during the week last week. Flew up with the Collingwood side. 97 on debut. That is very impressive. I mean, look, mind you, they did play a very undermanned Brisbane side and the game was in the bag before it started. But that aside, he has got a mammoth break-even of negative 127. He is going to be a huge money maker. So when you're talking about wanting to make money, get on Kyle Martin. He's one to seriously consider. And I think as well, given the soft run Collingwood have got coming up, he will actually get a fair bit of game time. And I think the Pies will probably look to rest a few of their, bigger stars.
Yeah,
let's hope that not so much in a Supercoach sense, but I fear they will.
He reminds me a bit of Michael Barlow, came through the VFL as well, and he burst on the scene and was a massive scorer, so hopefully he can replicate that.
Yeah, well, look, he's
an 18-year-old, so...
Yeah, well, he's 22.
Yeah.
Yep, so 22, kicked a few goals, had a lot of tackles, a lot of contested possessions, and can play that inside-outside role really well. So he's going to consider $110,000. It's nothing. But we'll move on to Tom Mitchell. son of Barry. Now, I reckon his debut was that good that he will not get out of that Sydney side now. That's my prediction for the rest of the year. He cannot possibly be moved out of that side. He was fanatical. Every time he touched the ball, something good came of it. His contested ball winning abilities, obviously his inside 50s.
Tackling.
He was the tackle machine, and he started inside the bounces as well. So Sydney really rated him. They've held on to him for a while and prolonged his debut. It was every bit worth it. And he's a little more expensive, only by about 5k, but someone else to consider. But I think he might be more of a sub target than I think. I still think he'll play for the rest of the year, help with Tommy Walsh going down. But he's one to really consider. Those two guys in particular, I think.
And throughout his junior career as well, I mean, he was averaging, I think, in the, what do they call it, the NEAFL.
Yeah.
Before he was actually picked up for the Swansea, I think it was 56 possessions and 200 and
something.
He had 150 odd possessions in the space of 3 weeks.
Yeah, and even throughout his junior years as well, he was always, I think he was averaging, I saw, over 100 points throughout his junior career, and it got more and more as he matured in age as well.
Well, he's been averaging 143 in the AFL this year alone, so...
Pretty ridiculous numbers there.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Another player to look at is Nathan Ravat from the Western Bulldogs. He scored 62 on the weekend against Port Adelaide. He's priced at 114,500. It's a bit of a pity that he's only named in the mids, because I would have loved him as like a mid forward.
Yeah, we could do another one of those.
Yeah, but he's averaging, of course, 74 at the moment with his 2 games, with a break even of negative 79. So he's one to look at after his bye round.
Get this round if you can, just so you can free up more upgrade targets next week.
Yeah, and another one is Sam Grimley, which we spoke of before, the young ruckman with the Hawks. He scored 67 against the D's. He's priced at 115,900. So, as we said, if you got like a Sam Rowe or Max Dorr even, just downgrade to him.
Hopefully, if you've still got Curry like I do.
Yes, as do I. But he's definitely one to downgrade to because Bailey was dropped from the Hawks lineup. So I don't know if it was because I rested him or if it's maybe he's got a niggle or something. It's I got
a good feeling about Green.
Yeah, but hopefully he can keep his spot on the side, and with a negative break even of 78, he's one
pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. And Joey Danaher is the one that I've got. He hasn't played any games yet, but Dumbleton only had 1 handball on the weekend, and he was subbed out at around half time. So it's really the same sort of player that they would be, swapping
pretty poor
around.
Conditions though for a key forward though. In there.
1 handball though, come on. He kicked 2 in the VFL against Geelong this past weekend, and I think he's 5th in the VFL goal kicking. So he's playing very well. He's up to 21 goals, and with Essendon's bye in round 13, he won't be on the bubble if he does come in this week until after his bye. So maybe that's when you can look at getting him in if you needed to downgrade a player to get some cash. Joey Danaher, good player.
Yeah, I reckon so. Now that brings us to the tweet of the week, Mid Tours tweet of the week. Make sure that you use the SCP show hashtag and tweet us in your SuperCoach thoughts, questions, whatnot, and the best 3 will get read out, and you will receive a $100 voucher, but you've got to make sure that you contact us so we can get your details. Now, would you like to kick us on?
Sure. Mine's from Nick Byrne. He's asking, what premium midfielder should I bring in this week? I already have Ablett, Pendlebury, Watson, Cochin, DeLeo, Selwood and Hodge. Very good midfield. So that's 7 premiums. But don't bring in any midfielders yet, because you've got them all suffering a bye. So you can wait 1 week. You can get rid of Evans, or you can get rid of Jones, or someone like that. If you have goods in your midfield, you can get rid of him. But don't do it yet. You've got a lot of time to do that. You need to keep the trades high, because I think I'm down to 13 after the trades I've done this week already. So they're getting low. So don't keep trading. Do it next week if you want to bring in a premium.
You'd be a bit top heavy as well for the buys. You don't want to have too many gun players out at one time.
That's 3 in round 13, 3 this round and 1 next round. So if you're bringing in a premium, next round you've only got Selwood missing. So you could bring in another one in and he'll be good for you.
That's pretty good. Well, look, I've got one from Ryan Murphy. G'day guys, upgrade dilemma. Bring in Goldie into my rucks because he's been consistent, or Cloak into my forwards. He's got a bigger ceiling, good draw. I am going to jump on... I'm definitely going to jump on Freo. I had to think about that. Obviously, with the Collingwood's got a round 13 bye, so take that into consideration. But coming up, Melbourne, no James Frawley, you can probably pencil him in for at least 5 goals. They've got the Bulldogs after that, the bye, Port Adelaide, Carlton, Adelaide, GWS and Gold Coast. So pretty good month or 2 months ahead for Collingwood. I would probably say that getting Travis Cloak right now would be a very good thing to do. Cop that round 13 bye. I'd be happy to do that for the scores that you'll probably spit out this week and next.
And my tweet is from Jordan Norris. He asks, wanting to trade O'Meara because of his high break even, but think I should hold on to him to get through the buys. Now that is a very good choice. The more players, as we said, the more players you've got playing, hold on to them, regardless of whether or not they're going to drop in price. So definitely hold on to him. You can hold on to him up until round 13, which is when he's got the bye, of course. And players to look at, which you can trade out then for him, trade in for him then, would be Sam Mitchell and Cochin. Sam Mitchell, we spoke of before, got a highish break even. He's going to go down in price, so he's definitely one to wait for. And Trent Cochin as well, so I'd definitely look at those two as potential upgrades for him.
Sure. Now, we were speaking about Fremantle before and their run home. Can you just tell us a bit more about that, Paige?
Look, there's no secret that obviously Fremantle's second half of the year is incredible. Most of their games are at Patterson Stadium and you can probably lock them in now for a top 4 spot. But one thing I want to focus on is that the last 4 games of the year for Fremantle in the AFL home and away season. So bearing in mind they are the last 4 weeks, which is the 4 weeks of finals for SuperCoach. So if you're already in a good position now, or you're in the bottom part of the top 8, then take this into consideration. The last 4 games Fremantle play against are GWS, Melbourne, Port Adelaide, and for the grand final, St Kilda. So it's that stat alone that's making me think about bringing in Michael Barlow into my midfield. Not only is he in ripping form, but I seriously think that getting in a player like him for a little bit of point of difference is going to come in handy at the back end of the season, especially if you are chasing that league title. So Michael Barlow for me is someone I'm going to strongly consider, and it would not surprise me if a lot of people start thinking about bringing in Matthew Pavlich when he gets back. He's going to drop heavily in price, and as I said, that run home, keep the Fremantle guys on your radar.
And speaking of good draws, Collingwood. The next few games, they've got Melbourne this week, the Dogs. Then they've got the bye, the actual bye. They've got Port Adelaide, Carlton, Adelaide, GWS and Gold Coast. So if you've got the likes of Swan, Pendles, Heath Shaw when he gets back in, when he loses his skin fold, they're going to absolutely kill it. They're going to absolutely kill it. So if you've got any Collingwood players, that's what you've got to look forward to.
Yeah, and even for upgrading as well. So
Players like your Martin, he's going to get more game time. He's going to be able to score really well against these bad sides. My tip: be patient. I can't say this enough.
It's a weekly thing with you.
Be patient, because lots of people look only into the week in advance. So they say, Birchall's not playing this week. Let's trade him out. Let's get him in a round 12 player. Well, then in round 12 you don't have that player playing.
Exactly.
So you need to look 2 or 3 weeks in advance. Just wait until, say, a round 12 bye until you trade out your Melbourne players or your Geelong players or whoever else has the bye then. Trade them then so you avoid as many donuts as possible and you get the highest score. You only have 18 that you need to get these big scores there. So, and if you've structured your team reasonably well, you should be about even for each round. So you should be right on that 17, 18 people playing mark.
I reckon so. But look, a couple of final tips. Remember, for the buys, only best 18 count. Do not go rage trading this week. Really try and minimise that.
Yep.
And look, what else we got?
Captain choice.
Captain choice.
Holes as well.
Yeah, you can avoid any sort of uncertainty because the people with the bye are not going to play, so there's no chance of them being a late in and
exactly. So good point. You can utilise that bad boy. So, but remember, even if your captain does put in a shocker. Then they won't be counted if they're not inside the best 18. But we've got a couple of captain choices. We've gone into this week. Now, considering Collingwood and Melbourne play on the Queen's birthday on Monday, basically the entire weekend is a loophole option. Take us through with you, Damon.
Well, first we've got Joe Watson on Friday night, big blockbuster against my side, Carlton. Now, with Carazzo out, he's been out for a little while. I think they're going to maybe use Curnow as a run-with player, or even Keisha as well. So he's going to be either taking Watson or even Stanton is another option. But I don't think, as a first year AFL player, I think he's going to struggle to really quell those decent Essendon midfielders. So I think Watson's one of them, as well as Stanton. Steve Johnson or even Jimmy Bartel as well against GWS.
Never making you captain again.
He got burnt badly.
Never. So
And
dirty.
of course, my man Gaza. Of course, you can't go past him. That's just you probably just stick the captaincy.
And up at Metricon Stadium as well. He's
Against
playing
North.
pretty good up there.
Yep. So those are ones to look out for, I think.
Definitely.
And obviously with Collingwood playing on the Monday, I really think it's about time Collingwood sort of stood up and probably delivered a performance that we all know they're capable of. But Swan and Pendlebury for mine.
Swan's going to eat him alive.
And even if you've got still Sidebottom as a sneaky, he's a bit of a unique player this year, but he has got a ripping history against Melbourne. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I know his Supercoach numbers have been fanatic.
Especially the way that he's playing this year, he just runs and runs and runs and runs.
Exactly.
And he's a great disposer of the ball, and Melbourne do not run. So get on. I would honestly, if I had Sidebottom, I would put him captain.
Yep, I reckon that he's my. I don't have him personally, but I'm edging towards Swan this week.
Yeah, Swan for sure.
Of course, that is if he's named because he had scans during the week and rah and whatever. It's all a bit. Everyone has scans and all of a sudden they're out. So wait for the final teams there, but I would definitely say that Swan for me is going to be my captain this week.
Yeah. And that's about it for this round of the SCP show, round 11. Good show. And make sure you're following us all on the Twitter. And we'll see you next week. And best of luck with the buys. Hopefully there's no laid outs. Go Tigers.
Go Pies.
Go Wolves.